Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Morgan and this is my first video here on YouTube, so I'm gonna try not to be awkward, but since this is a video of me introducing myself, I might be just that. So I wanted to start with telling you guys a little bit about myself, including what I want to do with this channel and what my personal style is. The content on this channel is going to consist mostly of fashion and DIY products. So I'm going to show you guys how to take something from the thrift store, for example, and make it a totally new item that is more to your uniqueness and your personal style and something that you would actually wear. We're also going to be doing some DIY fashion where I'll show you guys how to take designer pieces and make them yourself on your own budget. I'll also be giving some styling tips and lookbooks to show you guys how I personally wear my clothing items and accessories. I also want to give you guys a general idea of what my style is so you know what I look for and what I like to make myself. And I would say that my style includes some pretty unique pieces because I like to go to the thrift store and also make my own pieces like I said before. And some other words I would use for my style would be girly, edgy, and affordable. My perfect outfit would be a mixture of those three things, and that's generally what I strive for in an outfit, so that's what you guys are mostly going to see. So without further ado, we're going to get right into the video so I can show you guys what the channel is going to consist of and what I'm capable of doing and helping you guys with. Let's go. So the first piece I'm going to be thrift flipping is this beautiful piece that I found at the thrift store yesterday. It is just this corduroy teal men's button-down shirt, and I really just saw some potential in this, so I figured I could do something, and I already know what I'm going to do with it, so let's get right into it.
So as I said before, I already knew what I wanted to do with this piece. Even though it was beautiful on its own, I felt that I could make it into a more trendy piece, which is why I went for this overall dress, because it's very trendy right now, and it's not very hard to make, but I'm very happy with the results, and I hope you guys find it easy to follow along. So for this project, we're going to need the shirt, a seam ripper, scissors or a rotary cutter, matching thread or glue, and pins. To begin this project, we are going to pull this front pocket off because it was in the way of where we were going to sew. As you can see, I'm using my seam ripper to pull the threads and then I pull it apart. Once you're done, you can pull that pocket off and pull out the extra threads that were left behind from the seam ripper. Next step is to iron out the shirt where the pocket used to be to make it less noticeable. So here I'm setting the iron to 6 for cotton, which is what my shirt is made of. So like I said before, the goal is to try to get this ring to fade a little bit where the pocket used to be, so I'm just ironing it down and hoping for the best. I then flipped the shirt over to iron the other side where the pocket was to make it even less noticeable on the front side. For the next step, I laid a dress that I already had down on top of the shirt and lined it up with the middle. I used this dress as a size reference because I already knew that this dress fit me. If you do not have a dress that fits you, you can put the shirt on inside out and pin up the sides. For this next step, I cut, leaving a 1-inch seam allowance where we will be sewing or gluing up the sides. Once you are completely done cutting, you want to save this piece and put it aside, and then we're going to use it and line it up with the other side because this is great for size reference and knowing how much to cut. So on this time, we are not going to leave a seam allowance, we are just going to cut right up on the edge of that. Next, we're going to lay the shirt down flat and cut straight across closest to the top where the top and front of the dress will be. I am cutting through both layers, so it's kind of difficult in the middle where there's extra fabric, but you can do this in separate layers by unfolding it. Now we have two matching pieces. We're going to put the back piece aside and use the front piece at first. We're going to fold the front piece in half with the front sides of the shirt touching. This will help us cut evenly on both sides of the shirt. I then laid the dress down and followed the curved shape of the armhole. If you do not have a dress, you can use a tank top for this, but I would advise leaving a 1-inch seam allowance here also, which I forgot to do. And once you're done with one piece, you're going to want to do the same with the other piece, and since we didn't leave seam allowance on the arm, don't do this on the other piece either. So in this clip, I realized that the front of this dress is actually a little bit longer than the back, and I wanted my back to be shorter too, so taking the back piece, I cut about 3 inches off the top. Using a remaining portion of the shirt, I used the sleeves that we had left over. I'm going to cut the straps out for the top part of the dress. However, I messed up quite a bit and cut it to the exact size where I should have cut double. But it's okay, I just went ahead and cut out 4 straps and sewed them all together. So here I am showing you that I did cut 4 straps instead of 2 double wide straps to save myself some sewing. Because I cut 4 straps instead of 2, I'm laying them down with the corduroy sides touching. The next step is going to be to pin both sides, whereas if we had folded them in half, we would only have to sew up one side. The next step is to fold down the top portion of the shirt so there's no raw edges showing. And we want to make sure that these are unbuttoned right now so that we don't sew it together and we can unbutton it if we please. And we will also be sewing down the armhole so there's finished edges on that also. So here's what the shirt should look like all pinned up. So the next step is where you're going to sew down the edges that we just pinned, and if you don't know how to sew, you can also get fabric glue and glue this part down. I apologize for the weird angle on this one, but you're going to want to pin down the sides of the shirt where they will connect with the corduroy sides on the inside touching. And again, we're just going to sew this down or use glue. Moving on to the straps, I'm just sewing down both sides where the pins are. For the next step, I'm making a small slit at the top of the strap so that we can insert a tube turner and it will connect to that top little slit. Once you have it connected, you will pull it through like so. If you don't have a tube turner, you can use a safety pin and pull it through. After both straps are turned right side out, we're going to iron to give a cleaner edge and to help us sew it down. So now we're going to take the freshly ironed straps and sew down both sides for an even cleaner edge. Once we are done sewing the straps, we're just going to pin them to the inside of the dress so that they're not showing on the outside portion. Once the straps are pinned to the front, we're going to make sure they're straight and pin them to the back of the dress. Next, following the seam we already have, we're going to sew down both front and back sides of the straps. And for an optional final step, I went ahead and sewed an extra button on. I found this on the inside of the shirt, but mine was missing a button at the bottom, so I sewed a new one on. And because my shirt did not originally come with a bottom button, I had to create my own buttonhole at the bottom. After creating the bottom buttonhole, we could now button the shirt, and it was complete. With our final transformation, I wanted to give you a glimpse of how I would style the piece. So here I am wearing a black sweater and black knee-high boots with the dress so that the color stands out, because I wanted this piece to be the center of the outfit. So in this clip, again, I'm keeping it neutral with the gray turtleneck top and gray boots. I also decided to accessorize with this plaid hat because I was getting major train conductor vibes, so why not? I also wish I would have threw on some dark tights with this because it would have completed the look much better.
If you have made it to the end of this video, if you could please like and subscribe to see more content from me. I will be uploading every Sunday, and I hope to keep consistent with it because this is something that I really want to do. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. I had lots of fun, and I will see you guys next Sunday.